Hello everybody, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. This is another strengths materials video, and we're going to be talking about the transform section method, which is basically using composites of different materials and finding out what type of stresses are developed in them. We're going to be using this problem to explain how to solve these types of problems. So our problem goes as follows. We have a wood beam, which is reinforced with steel at its top and bottom as shown, and wants us to determine the maximum bending stress developed in the wood and steel if the beam is subject to a bending moment of 5 kilonewtons per meter. That's right here, and it's asked us to sketch the stress distribution over the cross section, and it gives us the modulus of elasticity for both of these materials. Now, let's explain where we need to start with this problem by talking about the fundamentals from before. So previously, we have discussed the flexure formula, which finds the stress that's going to develop at any point with respect to the neutral axis based on the internal moment developed, right? And this formula is relying on the section's geometric property called the area moment of inertia. And for sections that are made up of different composite or different simple shapes, such as an I-beam that has two rectangular flanges and a web, we can use the parallel axis theorem to determine the global moment of inertia for the entire section. But what happens when the section is now made up of different materials? Well, this is known as a composite section. And we can use the same fundamentals of the flexure formula, but we need to tweak some of the geometric values that we are plugging into this formula. So let's think of some examples where this would be useful. Let's say for this problem, if we're restoring an old wooden beam and we wanted to increase its strength, we could simply add two steel plates to the top and the bottom of the timber section. Now, why is this going to improve the section's resistance to flexure and bending moment? Well, this is because the steel added at the top and the bottom is actually going to be increasing the moment of inertia for this section, which is ultimately going to reduce the max stress that develops at the furthest tensile fibers of the section. So ultimately, we are reducing the stress by increasing the moment of inertia, right? But how do we work with this formula now that we have two different materials? Well, we have to consider the transform section method, which is simply going to transform one material into the other. And in order to do this, we are going to be considering the modulus of elasticity for both of these materials. And the comparison that we're trying to make and the fundamental understanding for these problems is we're going to convert all of this material into one material for analysis purposes. And we're going to explain some of the rules for that. But let's say we wanted to convert this entire section into a wooden section. After the transformation, we're going to be left with something that looks like this. But why does it look like this, and what is even going on with this shape? So what we're doing here is we're using something called the modular ratio, which is simply represented by n. And what n is doing is it's transforming the area of steel into an equivalent area for wood by considering the relationship or the ratio between steel and wood. So if we write that down as a formula, we can say that the modular ratio for this problem, if we wanted to convert steel into wood, we are going to take the modulus elasticity of steel compared to the modulus of elasticity for wood. And plugging in our values, we have 200 GPa for the steel and 11 GPa for the wood, which is going to equal 18.18 approximately. And in other words, to keep things super simple, what this means is that if we were to theoretically replace this entire piece of steel with an equivalent piece of wood, this piece of wood needs to be 18.18 times the area of the initial steel area. All right. Now, when we do these transformations, one thing that we need to keep in mind is that the height of the material that we are transforming has to remain the same. And this is in order to keep the stress profile the same as if no transformation occurred previously. Now, after we have this transformation completed, we can start to consider the modification that happens to the length of the material being transformed. So in simple terms, we're going to be going from B to B prime. And B prime, as I have up top here, is simply using that modular ratio, which is 18.18, and multiplying it times the initial length of the steel in order to find the equivalent length in a transformed wooden piece. All right, so that's going to simply equal 3636 millimeters. And that's going to be your B prime down here. And we're also going to be using this modular ratio to modify the stress values that we're developing, but we'll get to that later in the problem. For now, let's just keep it simple and start solving for our moment of inertia. So we know that our moment of inertia is going to be based on the parallel axis theorem. But a good thing about this problem is that we actually have the neutral axis directly center because we have a symmetric cross-section. So that means for this wooden shape, we're not going to have to consider this whole secondary part here. And we're going to see that right now. We have 1 over 12 and then base times height for this wooden block, which is 200 times 300. 200, 300, and then that's cubed, right? And then for the steel plates, which are now converted into wood, we have 2 of them, which are the same distance away from the neutral axis. We're going to be multiplying that by 2 right off the rip. And then following the same procedure, except now this B is actually considered as our B prime. So we're plugging in 3, 6, 3, 6, and we're taking the unchanged height, as we mentioned before, as 20, and that's going to be cubed. And then we have to consider the second part, which is the area, and we already know that's going to be 3, 6, 3, 6 times 20. And then we have to consider that distance away from the neutral axis, which is y1. And y1 is simply going to be half of this 300 and then half of this 20. So that's 150 plus 10. That is going to give us 160. Okay, that's going to be squared. Close the bracket. And solving for I, we are simply left with 4178.1 times 10 to the 6 millimeters to the power 4. Now we can start solving for what our unknown stresses are. And we need a couple of different ones in order to be able to sketch the stress distribution. This first one that we should be going for is this top stress at the tensile fiber or the compressive fiber of the steel section. And in order to do this, we are going to be taking the stress of steel max is equal to our formulas that we've used previously. So we have M, which is the moment in the section. We have the C, which is the furthest distance from the neutral axis to the furthest fiber on that steel section. And that's going to be C of steel. And that's going to be over our wooden moment of inertia value. So in order to compensate for this, we have to, once again, use this modular ratio to bring it back to the equivalent steel area. Plugging in, we are going to have a very simple plug and chug now. We have 18.18 for the modular ratio times 5 times 10 to the 6 for Newton millimeter moment. We have the distance away, which is C. So that's going to be, once again, half of 300, which is 150, plus that 20, leaving us with 170. That's going to be millimeters. Sorry about that. And then that's all over that inertia value that we had as 4178.1 times 10 to the 6 millimeters to the 4. And solving for that, you will be left with 3.7 MPa. We can do the same thing for the max stress at the top of the wooden fiber. So we have the stress in the wood max is going to be equal to the same type of plugging, except we already have this section as wood, and our inertia value is represented by a transform wooden section. So we don't need to use this modular ratio. So we have this simple plugging, once again, as 5 times 10 to the 6. We have the distance away, which is half of 300, which is 150 for the wood. And that's all over 4178.1 times 10 to the 6. And solving for that, we're going to be left with 0.179 MPa. Now we can use these values to plug into our final stress distribution. So now we have the equivalent stress distribution drawn out where we have 0.18 MPa, a transition point between the steel and the wood, and then ending up at our max stress of 3.7 in the top steel fiber. And we can find this transition point by taking the 0.18 and simply multiplying it by the modular ratio once again. Since this value is representing a max stress in the wood, we take that modular ratio to find the equivalent in the steel, and that's going to give us 3.25 MPa. And we draw that right on our diagram as well. And that's it for our problem. We'll keep it simple for now, but in the following videos, we're going to get more and more in depth with this concept. So I hope it helped. Thanks for watching.